See me? We are live. Think we have sound. Yep. Anyway, here we are. I'm only wearing a hat because I need a haircut real bad. You can tell. I'm shaggy here. Yeah, very good, Michael. I heard you, or I see you anyway. Who was that on the air earlier? Just a few minutes ago. It was a call I hadn't heard before. I don't think. Well, we're getting close already, boy. It sneaks up on me every night. Oh. There we go. It's 8 o'clock. Where's my button? Is the frequency in use? The answer is no. Thought I'd make that a quick statement and question. The frequency is apparently not in use, and if it is, let me know. All right, it's not. Good evening. This is K4PEW. My name is Paul, Net Control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? That answer is also no. Is there, you can break for emergency traffic at any time, although I've never heard any. I had some one time, called the police. I called the police through, when I was mobile. I had one of my buddies call the police on the radio. So I guess I could, it was kind of a priority because I didn't have my cell phone with me. At any rate, we normally meet here anywhere. For information, this and that. I skipped a part there. For information on our net, you can see us on 146415.net, on the web. 146415.net. It's right there somewhere. And I'm pointing to the thing on the screen in case you're not on here. Well, there's nobody on here now, except for me. But you can also see us on YouTube under my call. You can do a search in the YouTube search box, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, or you can do a search for Brain Trusts, BRAINTRUSTS channel. You'll see us there as well. Us, you see me and my ball cap. Or you can see us on Yahoo Groups at MJ_SS, or you can send an email to me. That's on Yahoo Groups, especially Groups, because Google Groups is going away April 1st or 3rd or something. Not that we're on Google Groups, because we're not. Send an email to me at Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at ARRL.net. Let's see, where else was I? Okay, purpose of the net. Oh no, we conduct the net every night every Wednesday night and Saturday night at 8 p.m. And of course, today's Wednesday night, last I heard. And the net is held on 146.415 FM Simplex. Purpose of the net is support and train ham radio operators for emergency communications. Although we don't really do that here, we just get people primed and ready to get better stations and better communication skills to get on the air if there was an emergency, because that's kind of what we do on ham radio. We have fun and we're prepared to serve our families and our communities and the general public if we had to. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events, activities, and training, etc., in support of the local community. Does anybody have any announcements?
KM4 YRS.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Paul, that was my brother I was talking to earlier today. His call time showed up, and he's going to try to check in on the net tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. What's his call? New call?
It's KNJ, not KNJ, KN4TJS.
S? Sierra or Frank?
Foxtrot.
All righty. So I'll use a non-phonetic word there, Frank. All right, very good. Well, congratulations. I'm sure he can hear me. Well, I think he can. Anyway. I'm pretty sure he can. But anyway, the announcements are we got another new ham on the air, and we got another, you saw it on the notice if you're on the email list. Richard upgraded to general, which we already knew, but he also got up a new antenna, which much better than his the one he used to have, that we don't mention on the air, the one he used to have. But anyway, there's another net that's on Tuesday nights. Well, of course, we're on Saturday night as well. With there's also Saturday morning. Saturday morning is the Simplex, the second of two Simplex breakfasts we have during the month, the second and the fourth Saturday, 8 a.m. at Barbecuties in Mount Juliet. It'd be a lot of fun. It's always a good time to get together with other hams. But anyway, that's this Saturday at 8 a.m. Also, we have our net for the Wilson County Emergency Preparedness Net. That's at 2, excuse me, it's at 8:30 on Tuesdays. You can see them there. And I'll send out a notice because there's two repeaters, and I'm not going to give you the details on the two repeaters they use because it's got it's just too much crap. I'll send it out in an email. If you have questions about it, you can email me or whatever. All right, but you'll see the message. Also, that's on Tuesday night. Of course, we have a net on Wednesday night following that. Is there any other? And of course, I'll reiterate the March 23rd Ides of March Ham Fest. That's IDES, Ides. That's not ideas. Ides of March Ham Fest in Union City, and that's on the 23rd, which isn't that too far off since it's 3 days away. That's Saturday. And on the 30th, this is in Sevierville for the Tennessee ARRL Section Convention, and that's in Sevierville on the 30th. You can look that up on the web under SevierCountyARS.org, or you can look it up on ARRL as well. Any other additions or subtractions, corrections, or whatever? All righty, nothing else heard there. I guess we'll go ahead and start. We're starting from the south tonight, so Richard will just have to wait. I know he's anxious to get on the air, but he'll also get to hear everybody from the south and east and see who he can hear. So looking forward to that. Looking for check-ins from the south of 40. Please come in.
Kilo. Victor.
Well, there was like a quadruple in there, but I did hear Larry first. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing good, Paul. Thought I'd jump in there quick, get it over with.
Well, you make it sound like it's a dental tooth pulling or something.
No, I'm hoping for a long one with a lot of check-ins.
Oh, yeah, this should be a good night. We'll see. Appreciate you being there, Larry. That's Larry in Rockville. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Who else out the 40?
November Yankee, Bill, Murfreesboro.
I'll take Bill. If I did hear you, I did hear you in there, Buzz. Kilo November 4, November Yankee. Bill, how you doing, Bill?
Pretty good. See, the reason the people south of are so excited is we just can't hardly wait to ever get to talk to you because you're important.
Well, I don't know about all that. I guess it's a nice compliment. I've become, I don't know, I've become like the go-to Simplex guy around here, at least in some circles. But appreciate the kind words. You have a great signal tonight. You're like S9 if I'm looking at that meter.
I don't know how, but I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, you're doing right up there. Well, for what you have, you're doing fantastic. But I think, again, I do pretty well into Murfreesboro, and obviously you do well to me, so it's not too much of a, I can work a handheld down there. I've done it with Scott and Laverne, so it's not too tough. All right, very good. Good to have you in there, Bill. That's Bill, Kilo November 4, November. Wait a minute. I got that right? It's Kilo Mike or Kilo November?
Kilo Mike 4.
Yeah, see, I thought that was wrong when I said November. It just keyed my brain in there. All right, Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee. Bill in Murfreesboro. Good to have you in there. Who else was in there? Triple doubles.
And one MDJ.
Hey, how you doing, Michael?
Doing pretty good, Paul. Sounds like you got a good start to the evening, and not much to report here other than if anybody's interested in learning or doing some satellite work, to get in touch with me.
Yeah, that was Michael, November 1, Mike Delta Juliet, and he's pretty active on the satellite work. And he says if anybody's interested in learning more, just contact him. It's what's your email on there, Mike?
You can use M1MDJ at ARRL. 8RL.net.
All right, very good. That's November 1, Mike Delta Juliet, and that's at Astrand at ARRL.net. You can contact him there. He's been doing a good job with that. He even had a published article in the QST magazine. Very good. Appreciate you being there, Michael. He's just south of 40 east of, well, he's over there a couple of miles east of Providence. Who else south of 40?
Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu, Tim in Murfreesboro, or Sully, whatever one you want to use, Mr. Paul.
All right, the schizophrenic Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu. We got Tim, or he also goes by the term Sully. That's you always hear that. You hear that a lot in New England, Boston area, because there's so many Irish folks named Sullivan up there. I'm sure you're aware of that, though, aren't you, Tim?
That's right. Your phonetics of peace and unity lives. That'd go pretty good for you, wouldn't it?
Peace and unity lives. And I guess you could with with my first name, yeah. Well, very good, Tim. You sound great tonight.
Same. Likewise, Paul. Same as always. Y'all get back at it. Get them all checked in. Have a good one, sir. Talk to you later. KR4AZ.
Yeah, very good. That was Tim, Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu in Murfreesboro. And just as a point of interest, I mentioned in the email that Richard, who has got his brand new antenna, very excited about it. And I'm going to be asking later who can't hear him. It's easier to do that than everybody else check back in. But if you can hear Richard when he comes on board in a few minutes, he'd like to know anyway, because he's going to know how many people he can hear. All right, very good. Who else we have south of 40?
Kilo November 4 Alpha Juliet Lima. Bob and Last Cat.
All right, Bob, you taking tomorrow off? I mean, what's the scoop staying up this late?
I wish I was taking tomorrow off. No, I got to get up about 2:30 and hit the grindstone, Paul.
Well, we'll do this. Call him up right now and say, listen, Paul said it's okay. I'm taking the day off, so just forget about me showing up.
Oh, yeah. That'll be an excused absence, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wish I had that kind of authority to just proclaim people to have a day off. That'd be great. Anyway, Bob, appreciate you being there. Bob's in Los Casas. Good signal. Kilo November 4 Alpha Juliet Lima. He does us the grand favor of being up. He normally has to go to bed before this because he gets up so early to go to work. Got a tough job in the trucking industry. Who else we got south of 40? Appreciate you being there, Bob. Who else south of 40?
November 8, Papa Yates.
Hey, see, that's not a somebody. It's an important somebody.
I don't know about that. Hey, by the way, I love your T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Well, with 5 dogs, everything I hear is barking and woofing, and oh, I got a full house. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we had a guy here who out at the booking room at the jail. They have a sign up that said, "What part of no don't you understand?" And so he was before the judge, and the judge asked him if he wanted an attorney, and he said no. And the judge said, "What do you mean no?" And the guy said, "What part of no don't you understand?"
Apparently, the judge didn't know the legal definition of the word "no."
We thought it was quite comical, probably more so than the judge. But just that, your shirt reminded me of that story. But anyway, sounded good tonight, Paul, and good to talk to you. I'll let you go ahead and get on with it. Maybe you can get to bed tonight too. We'll talk to you later. NAPPY.
Yeah, very good. When I went into I had a pre-divorce hearing with my attorney. This is my last marriage, and my second of my 3rd marriages. This one's for good though, so there'll be no more divorce stories. But my attorney, and then there was my ex-wife's attorney. Well, she wasn't my ex-wife quite yet, and then she had a real cantankerous female attorney, and then there was a counselor there just to make sure that everything was still the way we wanted it to be. And my attorney had, not mine, but the opposing attorney was silly enough to say, and part of this, she says, if I were you, she says, no, it's none of my business, but, and then she said what she thought I should do with the proceedings from my portion of the settlement. And I looked across the table. I looked at it. Says, "You're right, counselor. It is none of your business. Thank you."
Good answer, Paul. Good answer.
Well, I thought it was funny that a prominent attorney would decide to give me their opinion of what I should do. And she wasn't my attorney.
Yeah, I've had DAs tell me before what to tell my client, and I always thank them and tell them what I want to tell them.
That's right. All right, very good, Rusty. Good to have you in there. It's Rusty, November 8th, Papa Yankee. Great signal from Murfreesboro also. Who else saw the 40? All right, we'll move around to the east. Anybody who's lollygagging down there will catch on late check-ins. Anybody else east of Mount Juliet, please come on.
The 40BX.
Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. I got Ed first in here in W4EBX. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing good. Had a good day today. Sure was nice outside, and looking forward to the barbecue breakfast this Saturday.
Yeah, you're pegging my meter as always.
I'm running low power.
Yeah, well, we're only 5 miles apart or so it's kind of hard for us. And you have a nice tower, so you're doing great. Did you ever fix your rotor? I never did find that out.
No, never have. Maybe I'll get around to it here one year.
Yeah, when you move.
Yeah.
All right, very good. That was Eddie, W for Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray. He is over in Gladeville, kind of east of Providence, so 3 or 4 miles. Got always a great signal to me, and he can copy me on like a quarter watt. So, all right, who else east of Mount Juliet?
Kilo India 4 singing in the barn.
All right. Are you hearing more stations than normal, Richard?
Oh, I got nothing south. Absolutely nothing south, and I'm kind of disheartened by that. But here again, that noise is plaguing me tonight, and I heard you just fine. I've heard Mike out of Bellshire just fine. I heard Eddie just fine. But south, I got nothing.
Well, you were copying, wasn't it Tim KR4AZ the other day? Remember we did that profile on terrain?
Yeah, I could hear him, but it was like it was the other day, not well enough to discern what he was saying.
Well, again, you've got some serious terrain problems to the south of you, us, going south. So, and well, with your elevation and terrain problems, I think that's the reason. But I think you're going to hear more than you normally do, or hear better anyway.
Well, I probably am, but this thing's only 30 feet in the air at the moment, and it's fixed to go 40 feet as soon as I can get the material together to crank that 40-footer up. That's the only holdup at the moment, is getting that 40-foot in the air and this thing on top of it. But that's going to happen. I've already got everything laid out in my head as to how I'm going to do it. I've just got to find the material to build the hinge weight.
Well, for 33,000 or so, I can get you a crank-up tower on concrete at 100 feet.
Yeah. No, the biggest drawback to that is remember where I am.
Yeah, I know. I'm just pulling your leg. I know you're anxious to get good results out of the new antenna you have. And you do, by the way, your signal is almost triple to me in what it used to be.
Wow. Well, that's great, and I'm glad to hear that. But and your signal to me is increased as well. But my thought is 40 feet is going to be a whole new world all over again.
Yeah, your feed line's probably balking at the increased signals coming through, and it's kind of choking from it was used to the old antenna.
Well, no, it's this new feed line up there too. I'm using LMR 400 feed line.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, good choice. Yeah, you're doing fine though to me, but that's not hard to do for me from Lebanon. But that's very good, Richard. That's Richard, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. Anybody in the south that's not copying Richard? I'm interested to know. And we had, from the south, we had KE4 SYV and Kilo Mike 4 November Yankee and November 1. I'm pretty sure that Michael N1 MDJ, but KR4 AZ. Who's not hearing Richard up in Lebanon?
I could not hear him, Paul, NAPPY.
Who else besides Rusty? No one else besides Rusty. But everybody's apparently hearing you.
Well, tell them to pray for me to hear better at 40 feet than I do at 30. One more thing I want to tell you. I just checked the website. The FCC has posted my general class license, and QRZ hadn't quite caught up yet. So, according to the FCC, I am officially a general class.
Yeah, I didn't have any doubts about it. Once you got the approval at the local level, I knew it was going to go through. Today's Wednesday, and you got that Saturday, right?
This past, but not this past, but a week ago, yeah.
Wow, it took that long.
Yeah, it did.
Huh. Well, you know how the government is.
Contact.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
This is TI4SIP.
Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I got a really good copy on Richard there. I don't have a better problem. I got him with about an S6 over in Las Casas.
Ah, very good. Richard, did you hear that? Were you able to hear Bob down in Las Casas?
Unfortunately, no.
Huh. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk. Maybe it's your radio's got a little bit of an issue. I know that's happened before with people. Well, I don't know about that, which radio we have, but we'll talk about that later. You should be able to hear really. If Bob's hearing you that strong, I'm surprised you can't hear him.
I've got him with about an S4 over here. It's fluctuating just a little bit, but I hear him real well. KR4AZ.
Yeah, he may be getting some front end problems there with he's got some noise locally in his apartment complex. So I'm guessing that might be part of the problem, but we shall find out. We'll just have to get him to move. All right. Appreciate the feedback, guys. Richard, I hope that helps you a little bit. Good you having you in there, and I'm glad everybody's congratulating you, I'm sure, on your general ticket. It opens up a whole world of HF to you. All you have to do is spend another couple grand on equipment and antennas, which is hard to do in an apartment complex. All right, good deal. Good deal. Who else east of Mount Juliet? Hey, are you copying Richard at all? Wes?
Yeah, in fact, I was switching the antennas. I'm on my vertical. He's an S5 on the vertical. On the B, he takes the meter, which tells me something about my antenna on my local terrain. Because the B and the vertical that you call, you're the same. Interesting. But now Richard's done a good job. KE4TW.
Yeah, you hadn't seen it, but I did a terrain profile between him and Murfreesboro. And it's absolutely horrendous, the number of bumps there's like 100 feet of elevation that bumps up in between him and going that in southwest. But obviously it's not there between. Well, let me ask Richard. Richard, are you copying Wes in Watertown?
I am. I've got a good copy on him. The other problem I've got, Paul, and we've discussed this before, noise. I've got 3 S units or 3 bars on this meter of noise. And a lot of guys are getting to me with 3 bars, but they're fighting that noise, and I just cannot pull them out with the noise hitting me like it is, unfortunately.
Now, here's what you do. You go around to the apartment complex and you turn off everybody's power except for yours.
Good idea. Might just try that. Hey, Richard, I just switched over to the V. I should be stronger now. KE4TW. Oh, yeah, I've got a full scale. Well, I'm 1 bar shy of a full scale on you now. Yeah, interesting. Well, this is what Simplex is all about. And by the way, I couldn't hear Eddie at all. I don't know what's up. KE4TW.
Well, Eddie was on low power. I don't know if you heard him say that.
I did not. All right, go ahead.
That would be the reason. He was probably on 5 watts. Yeah, I know which radio he has, so it is 5 watts. Eddie, were you using the Kenwood? Eddie stepped away. Yeah, if he was still using the same radio, he was on 5 watts. All right, very good. Who else we got south? Well, that was Wes, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India, and he's in just a little bit right near Watertown. Who else we got south of Portland?
Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India.
Hey, James. I know you're copying Richard just fine.
I'm getting an S7 on Richard. It sounds real good. And I couldn't hear Wes very well at first, but when he changed antennas, I heard it really well.
Yeah, he went from the vertical to the beam, and that would have put almost all of his energy up towards you and me. But yeah, he sounds good to me always. Well, not great, but I always have good copy on him. And you've got good copy as well. And I'm pretty sure, Richard, you're copying James here in Mount Juliet.
I am copying James. He's sounding good on me, actually.
Had you heard James before?
Never. This is the first time.
Hey, James, come back again.
James, say again. Wes was looking for a copy.
WJ4ZHI. It's called West. All right, James. I went to my vertical, and you went down 1S unit. Interesting. TE4TW.
Kind of weak on me then.
Yeah, he's a little weaker to you now that he went on the vertical. Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, this last time I could hear his voice, but I couldn't make out what he's saying.
Yeah, I got you. Well, it's understandable, really. I mean, with the beam, he's pointed right at us, and in the vertical, he's got 360 degrees of the same power. All right, very good, James. Good to have you in there. Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India, and he is here in the heart of Mount Juliet, just east of the library. A little ways. Who else east of Mount Juliet Road?
KG4, I think.
I'm pretty sure you're copying Richard.
No, I can't hear him.
I think you're lying.
Yeah, I can hear him. That man's got me full scale way over here.
Yeah, I expect so. And I'm pretty sure Richard's copying you, all right?
No, he can't hear me. Can't hear a word he's saying. Would you give me James's call sign one more time, Paul? I should have it in my head by now, but my brain is not wrapped around it at the moment.
Yeah, very good. All that general's going to your head. I know you're getting cocky. It's Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India.
Zulu Hotel India?
Yes, that's correct. Zulu Hotel India.
Thank you very much. Yeah, for SIP.
Yeah, very good. And then we had Kevin in there. That was Kevin, Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu, and he's over there and right in just a little bit west of downtown Lebanon. Appreciate you being there, Kevin. Who else south of or east of Mount Juliet? We run out of that east of Mount Juliet.
Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu.
Hello, Earl. How you doing? Were you copying Richard there in Lebanon?
Yeah, I believe it was. That's where I first come in. I think you was talking to him, and then I heard Kevin in there after him. I believe yeah, that's as far as I heard because I just turned this thing on there.
Ah, okay. Well, Richard, are you copying Earl down there in Noreen?
Absolutely. Got a real good copy on it.
Had you copied him before?
At points in time I could, but at points in time I couldn't.
All right. Well, it sounds like things are looking up, at least in some areas. It's promising. Well,
it's getting better, and it's going to get even better.
Yeah, very good. Earl, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Been on a heat pad all day today after doing lawnmower maintenance all day yesterday. And I don't know, it just don't them old knuckle busters and positions to get into working on a lawnmower ain't as easy as they used to be to get into and out of.
Only one thing worse, and that's outboard motor maintenance.
Well, you might have a point there, but I have no idea or no desire to get into. That's like radio hobby, having a boat. You're always broke. I hear you.
Oh yeah, well that's why I'm a self-made thousandaire.
You know what the word boat is an acronym for?
I forget what it is. What is it, Richard?
Flake out another 1,000.
Oh, I'm sure of that. Listen, I spent 4 years in the Navy. I have never had a desire to own a boat after that.
I understand. Y'all carry on. KI4SIB.
Well, very good, Earl. Appreciate you being there. Your signal's doing real fine tonight. It was a little bit of flutter in there, but I'm always not always that way, but often that way with you, just due to your where you are on that side of the earth. How's my copy to you?
I'll get about anywhere between 9 or 10. It's kind of fluctuating and everything, but I'm on the old trustable. Well, maybe I'll use that term loosely. I'm on my Ringo Ranger, or anyway, my Ringo antenna. So I guess maybe it might have something to do with the orbit of the Earth in terms of season which antenna is better than the other one at any given time.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. See, I have great audio on you. I mean, a very loud audio, but you're barely making my needle move on the on the signal strength. So it's obvious. It's you got issues in the terrain between us, but your audio is great. That's Earl. He's in Noreen, just east of Cedars of Lebanon Park over there in south of Lebanon. Who else? Then of course that's Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. Who else east of Mount Juliet? There was 2 in there, but I heard Stan KM4 Hotel Quebec Echo. I think I have that right. Don't I, Stan?
Roger.
Yeah, sounds good. You doing all right?
Doing well, Paul. How you doing tonight?
As I was telling Kevin earlier, he said, "What you doing?" I said, "Well, I just got off of the satanic rowing machine I have. It's awful."
No, it's not a boat, is it?
No, it's not a boat. That's the best part about it. It's not on the water, but it's still tortuous to use at my age, but I have to do it. I swear I just exercise with some regularity just so I'll look better in the coffin.
Let's not talk about that.
So, all right, Stan. Good to have you in there, Stan. That's Stan Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. He is over just north of downtown Lebanon. Concentration of hams over there in the Lebanon area. Who else south or east of Mount Juliet? Anybody else?
WB0NLO Mobile.
Ah, Mobile. So you're sneaking us in over there east of Mount Juliet, huh?
Yeah, I'm on South Mount Juliet Road, just across Percy Priest Lake, and I'm headed north, so I'm on the east side of the road.
Aha. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, you qualify both ways, east and south. Yeah, I know exactly. Well, not exactly where you are, but yeah, you're pegging my meter here.
Yeah, I'm not too far from you. Been down in Nolansville. I've been hearing you all the way back, pretty much. You've got quite a signal.
Yeah, I hear that. I always get surprised. One of the guys on the net, he says he heard me up in Springfield, and I said, let me look at that. And it's about 30-something miles. It's just that normally that's got some real terrain problems going up there to the northwest of Nashville, up toward that way. And I was surprised that he could hear me.
Yep, altitude is everything. And then, of course, you got that, 45-foot long antenna?
Yeah, well, about half of that. 24 feet. Yeah, it is a nice antenna. I got to give it that. And again, it wouldn't be worth a darn if I didn't have the elevation I have. It would just be average. It's because as you know, elevation is everything.
Yep. All righty. Well, you sound good. I'll be passing close by you here before too long. Have a good evening.
Yeah, turn down the power. You're pegging my meter, and it looked like it was bending the needle a bit. That was Mark. He's Mobile, coming north on Mount Juliet Road, coming up, somewhere between Percy Priest and I-40. Or I-40. All right, that's Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar. Good signal there, Mobile, Mark. Who else is east of Mount Juliet? Run out of East Mount Juliet. Then up to the north of, Lebanon Road.
KB9RKK.
Hey, Frank. Sound good. Hey, I just had it. I'll say it on the air anyway. It doesn't matter. On that emergency preparedness net on Tuesdays?
Yep.
They don't link those repeaters?
No, they are not linked. They're not linked. No, they're two separate ones. There was some talk of it, but currently they're not.
Well, the other thing that I was going to suggest, I'll tell you some other time. It's not important on this net. But no, both the repeaters sound good to me.
Yeah, I can hit both from my location. The main one, which is off the Taylorsville Road, is hard to get from anywhere in Mount Juliet unless you're up high, especially with an HT, because that's kind of most of the people that would be using it outside would be using small radios. So, but the one in Mount Juliet, it works really good for us anywhere in town around here.
Yeah, if you're serious about emergency communications, you're not even supposed to be able to spell HT.
Oh, I know, but a lot of people have those. Especially a lot of the new people.
No, I know they do. That's not a problem. I was just kind of joking there. Hey, you do with what you got and what you can afford. I can remember when I was, it's not that long ago, but long enough that I couldn't afford to. If you had asked me to spend $100 on a radio, I said, yeah, fat chance. I can't even buy tires, and you want me to buy a radio?
Yep, and some of the younger guys that are still like in high school.
Oh yeah, no, believe me, I appreciate all of that. It's one of the reasons it's still an expensive hobby. I mean, to get in with a brand new radio, yeah, you can buy a brand new HF radio, all mode, for $700, but how many high schoolers got $700 to throw around?
Yeah, well, back in the day, I'd be buying a car for that much.
Well, truth be told, my first car was $25. My second one was $75. So they weren't brand new.
No, but okay, you got me beat by a long shot there. It's $25. Wow. Back over to that KB9 RKK.
Yeah, but I still had to put a clutch in it, though. It needed a new clutch, if I was fine. Flathead 6, yep. Studebaker. All right, 60 Studebaker, no less. And it wasn't pretty then, and it ain't pretty now. If you look up a 1960 Studebaker Lark, L-A-R-K, Lark 6. There was a Lark 8. I don't know why, because it was still ugly. All right, what for $25? What do you want? Who else? Appreciate you being there, Frank. That's Frank, Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo, and he is just northwest of Wilson County. Who else? North of Monticello.
Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor, come back.
Hey, how are you doing tonight, Brent?
Pretty good, Paul. I got laughed when you're talking about a Studebaker. If you were around South Bend, Indiana, and in that area, that's what they used for their police cars and ambulances.
Well, no, they did make some decent vehicles at one point, yes. In fact, they had, oh gosh, the Golden Hawk. I don't know if you remember that one. It was a kind of a sports car.
Yeah, I sure do. They also made a Avante.
Yeah, the Avante was, I want to say at that time, the Avante may have been one of the more powerful production models available.
Yeah, well, that came out of Canada. They built it up in Windsor, and it was one of the more expensive ones for sure.
You don't see any of those on the road anymore. At least I haven't seen one in years.
We had a girl in high school that her father bought her one, and she used to drive it to high school.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny. Studebaker, the car, well, they just didn't compete very well. The Studebaker did not compete, and that's why they're not in the market since 1960 something.
Actually, I believe American Motors bought them out.
Yeah, but American Motors are the same ones who had the Javelin, okay?
Yeah, they also had the Rambler.
My dad had a Rambler, but it was a 50 or 49, I forget which.
They were a unique vehicle. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I had a friend who bought a Rambler used back in the 60s. I don't remember which year it was, though. But it was like the Studebaker. It wasn't exactly a sleek looking car.
Well, I had a friend in high school before he got his GTO. He had it was kind of like a sparkly blue color Rambler with pink fur on the dashboard, the back dashboard.
Oh yeah, he was really cooking with that, with fur on the dashboards, and it was pink. Yeah, that wouldn't fly too well these days.
No, I don't think so.
All right, very good. Yeah, I still once in a while go on the web and look up some of those old cars to see how much they're selling for. And even the one I had, completely rehabbed, they still sell. They sell for $6 or $8 grand, and when they were new, they probably sold for $1,500.
Look up the Avante. The last one I saw on there was 80 grand is what it went for on an auction.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'd like to see what one of those Eldorados, the front wheel drives, go for too.
Yeah, that or the Tornado. A lot of people forgot that was the sister to that. It was the Oldsmobile.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. A friend of mine had one. I said an acquaintance of mine had one. It always looked funny because you could burn rubber with the front tires. You know?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent myself. That was funny. You know, the old Cord was a front wheel drive.
Oh, is that right? Now that's going back before I was born, I think.
Yeah, it was 38 and 39, and it had a front wheel drive in it.
I didn't know that. Huh. That was pretty ahead of their time, I guess. Maybe it was just easier because the engine's up front and the drivetrain's up front.
Yeah, it also had the hidden headlights, but instead of being powered, you had a crank under your dashboard and cranked them open.
Yeah, that's well, you know, every time everybody had covered headlights, guaranteed to stick at one time.
Yeah, that's what you call the winker.
Yeah, that's right. All right, very good. Brent, that's Brent, Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor Quebec. Here we are on the Motorcycle Row, or Motors Row, and he is up north of Lebanon Road, up in the northwest part of the county, Wilson County, that is. Anybody else north? Appreciate you being there, Brent. Anybody north? And finally, over to the west of Mount Juliet. Please come in.
KN4 TJF.
This must be Rick, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing great. Which antenna did you get up in the air?
I got the 5/8.
5/8 wave vertical, is that what it is?
I'm not sure. Michael put it up.
Mike, is that right? It's a 5/8 wave vertical? And Mike fell asleep. Well, yeah, you sound good. I'm copying you well. Come back again. Let me look at the meter. I wasn't looking.
Okay. Yeah, I'm up here now, Ashland City. I can hear you real well. You're pushing about 7.
Yeah, it's funny because your signal strength is almost non-existent if you can see us, if you've looked at it on the web. But your audio is just fine and readable. It's got a bit of hash in the background, but that'll change when you upgrade that antenna.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go for the 700. I'm just going to go all out and get it right.
Well, I always recommend that, but it's, you know, with that, I'll just say a warning. You don't want to do it if you don't have the money. You know, family and food come first.
Amen, Paul.
Yeah, very good. I've seen people do it. They burn up money and then they go, oh, I don't know what to do. You know, I've seen it, not recently, but you know, people burning up their money on things they shouldn't be. Ham radio can be one of them because that antenna at $387 or whatever it is I balked at it for years. I just couldn't believe it was that good, but it is that good. You're going to be shocked at how many fish. Are you able to hear many of the stations?
So far, I've heard a few with Mike.
Oh, okay. Well, that would, yeah, you'll see a big difference when you get another better antenna up there. And that antenna, you know, where you are, you can probably hit the vast majority of the repeaters in the Nashville area.
That's true. Yeah, Michael and I went around talking with some of the repeaters earlier today, and he has Nashville and Brentwood strong.
Yeah, that's the beauty of repeaters, but it also, you haven't heard me say it, so I'll say it, and at least on the air, you haven't heard me. I don't think you have. But that's the problem with repeaters. If you're not interested in, well, let's put it this way: you're able to sit back with a small antenna that can't get out very well and do all kinds of talking, and then when you ask to go simplex, you go, I can't hear anybody. I wonder what's wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the whole antenna thing, it'll be a save up for that thing adventure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would, like I said, I would never, think that somebody was a good idea just to spend it because it's important to them. You know, there's all kinds of other bills that got to get paid. Not to mention, you know, I heard in the web news recently, I don't quite believe it, but they said that 40% of the public couldn't come up with $400 emergency cash money if they had to, and you know, on a quick basis. And I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure that most people can come up with $400, you know. But I guess a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I know that's the case. Yeah, this is a 5H ground plane antenna that I'm using right now.
Yeah, no, that's a fine antenna for most purposes. But if you're wanting to hear more, it's just amazing how much difference it makes to have a good antenna up at a good elevation.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I really enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys letting me come in here on this, and I'm new at it, obviously, but I'm just enjoying it to the max.
All right. Well, you would have fooled me. You're working the radio. You got fine. And you got a good signal to me. So, and I'm sure that there's others that can hear you as well. I know Mike can hear you at least. But yeah, again, everybody, that's the brand new ham with his brand new antenna in the air. That's Rick. He's in Ashland City. That's Kilo, November 4, Quebec, Juliet, Foxtrot. No, Tango. Wait a minute. Is it Tango or Quebec? Do I have it wrong?
Tango.
Yeah, there you go. I wrote it down right the first time, and when you gave it to me, I wrote it down wrong. All right, very good. It's Kilo, November 4, Tango, Juliet, Foxtrot. All right. Anybody else west of Mount Juliet?
KM4YRF.
All right, Michael. Yeah, good job on that antenna. Was that something you had in stock?
Well, it's actually just like the one I had over here that I started with, but I spent a week at his house when they were on a trip, and I bought that antenna and put up so I could use my radio while it was there.
I guess. See, a real good brother would have given him your X700. That's what would have happened.
Well, then I couldn't hear you.
Oh. Yeah, but he could have. He could have had a much better. He could have heard everybody else.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen here pretty soon. I just want to say congratulations to him, and he's really excited and worked hard for it. And wanted to tell Richard if he can still hear me that he was 20 over S9 to get to my station.
I think I'm going to open up a bank, a state bank. It's the State Bank of Hams, so we can loan people money at a reasonable rate to get them on the air better.
I think that's a great idea. I'd contribute to that.
All righty, very good. Well, it's not going to be it's not a charity organization, remember that. But anyway, good to have you on the air, Michael. That was Michael. That's Rick's brother. That's Kilo Mike 4, Yankee, Romeo, Foxtrot. Michael's, of course, in Belshire. Who else we got west of Mount Juliet?
Katie 4. Whiskey 4, Alpha, Whiskey Echo.
All and the gang.
Hold on, John.
Want to say once again, congratulations to Rick. We're so happy for him and excited, and just glad he's on the air tonight with us. So hope all of you are doing well and have a good rest of your evening. I'm going to pass the mic over to Marty. So you all take care, Katie, for OEN.
Yeah, very good, Mary.
84 BQK. And Belshire, Tennessee.
Yeah, very good, Marty. Good to have you on the air. Is everything going well for you tonight?
Oh, yeah, it is. It always does.
Yeah, sounds good. You and Mary sound good tonight. That's a nice setup you have over there. I mean, in terms of the radio, I know you're not getting out. Your antenna is not the monster that I have, but you got a good signal to me.
Oh, thank you.
Well, very good, Marty. That's Marty and Mary. That's Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November, Mary, and Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo Marty, and they're both in Belshire. In fact, they live like right next door to Michael, KM4YRS. Very good. Oh, John, I got John, Whiskey 4 Alpha, Whiskey Echo. There was a double in there, John. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that on this end. Yeah, congratulations to Rick. He's got an S8 signal to me from Ashland City. Over.
Copy there, Rick.
I did. Thank you very much.
How are you copying John there in Bellevue?
I was away from radio. I haven't seen it again.
Say again, John.
Yeah, W4AWE. Back to you, Rick.
You're pegging me out, man.
Well, to be fair, Rick, John has about 90 watts on the same antenna I have, and he's on the other side of a ridge from, there's a ridge between me and him, but I don't think there's any ridges between him and you in Ashland City.
See, I'm up on top of the hill. He's really, really pumping it here.
pretty straight shot to me. I mean, it's a bit of distance, but at least there's nothing blocking it. And also, congratulations to Richard. Glad to hear about that general.
Yeah, he's pretty jacked about it. He's getting cocky. I told him he had to back down.
Yeah, we'll have to get him up on all the bands now.
Yeah, he's looking forward to it. You know, because going from tech to general is well, it's not that it's a huge move, but it's big to you know in terms of how many bands you can, where you can be on all the bands. So it is an important move.
Yeah, and the other thing is being in an apartment. It could be really surprising to him how well he can get out with just some simple wire antennas, or even lighting up the gutters.
Oh yeah, no, that's it is. People kind of scoff at some of the compromised antennas that people use in apartments, but even those compromised antennas on a good night, you can make a lot of contacts.
Yeah, he's going to have fun, I believe. You're sounding good here tonight, Paul.
Yeah, very good. You're almost pegging the meter. I don't know what the deal is. Normally, I think you do.
Oh, who knows? Normally, I don't pay attention, but when I heard Rick from Ashland City, I did look down, and he's a solid S8 here.
Wow. Yeah, he's doing good. All right, very good, John. Please appreciate you being in there. That's John, Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo, and he's in Bellevue, just southwest Nashville. Who else west of Mount Juliet or west of Mount Juliet? Yeah. Late check-ins, any place, anywhere, please come in.
Hey, boy,
Hey, David, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, sir. Very good. It's been a good day.
Yeah. Are you on low power? I don't think you are you?
Yes, sir. I am on low power. I yelled out at you today. I was at 1,300 feet over at the Beach Grove community. Had that little boat bang on the quarter wave antenna, of course, 5 watts. And yelled out at you. You must have been on your bicycle.
Might have been. What time was it?
3:30 to 4 o'clock.
No, I was taking a nap. That's what I was doing. But I did get on the exercise equipment after that. Now your signal's fine. Your audio is fine, but you're barely moving the needle at all tonight.
Well, moving that needle is not too important if you can hear me.
No, it isn't important. You're right. But I'm just saying it's actually sitting right on the bottom. It doesn't even look like it's quivering at your voice. It's laying down there. It is funny how that is, though. But you've got a good audio.
Okay, I moved it up to a medium power there just to see if the meter moved. And my next transmission, I'll put it up all I got. Yeah,
that's like an S2 or 3 where you were just then. So, but the audio difference isn't significant.
Okay, that's all I got. That's pushing this little Kenwood just wide open, and needle moving or not, as long as you can hear me, that's good.
Yeah, that's an S6 right there. That's solid. And the audio does get better, but it's as readable as it was at 5 watts.
Okay, well, very good. A little late getting in here, but just a good evening to everybody on the net. Mr. Paul, appreciate what you do, sir. Have a good one. 7-3 KI4 NDN.
Yeah, that was David in Reedyville, Kilo India 4 November Delta November, and he is one of the net controls for the first Tuesday of the month, the Rutherford County Simplex Net, which I send out announcements for. So we'll be seeing that in the first week in April. Who else? Anybody else late check-ins? Please come in.
Well, I just heard Reedyville.
And you hadn't heard David before?
Never.
Very good. David, are you copying Richard up in Lebanon? David must have dropped out. David, you still there? All righty. Well, that's good. I'm glad you were able to hear. That's cool. So it does make you can see there is a difference. And we're copying on him all 3 levels. He's on 5 watts at first, and then 20, and then 50.
Well, it wasn't until he got to the 50-watt level that I heard him, but I had 3 bars of cinema on him at that point. I think my noise had dropped out just a little bit. Let me make sure I've got his call right. Kilo India 4 November Delta November.
That's affirmative in Reedyville.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard him.
See, this is like, the first time you communicate with Mars,
Pretty much. But to give you some idea, I did some logging back when I first moved in here and first started checking into the net. And I would hear 2 or 3 people. Now I've got an entire page, which is a total of about 10.
Ah, very good. So yeah, it is significant, really, when you get a decent, and that's at the same height that you had before. That's why it's a good test, really, of difference between that J pole and this one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I'm glad it started at this height just to give me the difference between the two at the same conditions. But I'm looking for a vast improvement at the 10 to 40 foot mark, because at that point, the tip of the antenna will be 2.5 feet shy of 60 feet.
Oh yeah, no, I expect you'll do pretty good. Very good. Well, I'm glad you're able to do that much more. It's fun to see people get better, get better in what they can hear, and it's fun for them too, because it makes the radio so much more enjoyable. Because it's really funny, because you actually start to realize I got more people to talk to.
It broadens your communications horizons, and there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, very good, Richard. You're doing great. For living in an apartment, you're doing fantastic. All right, we have any other late check-ins before I move on to lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers?
KN4 LXH. I told Jim I'd check him in too.
Jim, he's taking a relay, Jim, down in Woodbury.
Well, I told him I'd check him in.
I don't know if I'm taking secondhand check-ins. All right, but I did hear a Jimmy there, I believe.
Yes, sir. This is KN4 LXH. How you doing there, Mr. Paul?
Doing any good? Do we have any updates on the tower?
Well, the digging phase has finished, and we're into the concrete phase. But when I went to Lowe's today to get concrete, I realized that toting 80-pound bags of concrete mix was not in my wheelhouse anymore.
I'm telling you, that kind of stuff will. Well, it'll tear you a new one. I don't think it matters if you're over the age of, I don't know what age it is, 60. It's not a good idea to jump into that.
Yeah, I'm 73, and I used to be able to do that, but I can't anymore. So they're going to deliver the rest of the concrete on Monday. So, but I looked at the forecast for Monday, and it's supposed to be an 86% chance of rain. So maybe Tuesday before I get anything done.
Well, the hole isn't that big. You could put a canvas over it.
Yeah, I could do that, I guess. I just hate working in the
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah, it's funny. There's lots of things I used to be able to do.
When I first started this, I thought, well, 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot. What's no big deal. I could do that. I tell you, the doing and the thinking about it is 2 different things.
Yeah, that's right. I remember one time years ago, this was back in early 70s, I decided I wasn't going to buy any of those popcorn blocks to make a simple patio on the back door of my house. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to make a form for my own. You know how heavy a 2 foot by 2 foot piece of concrete is? It's 2 inches thick to drag you to make them. After I make one, I think I said, nah, I'll just buy the popcorn block.
Yeah, it gives you a whole new appreciation for people who can turn those out in rapid succession,
Yeah, no, concrete is, well, shoot, concrete bags of concrete are heavy, let alone without the water in them,
Yeah, it was all I could do to get it off the shelf and into the cart there. So I reevaluated my situation and decided to let them deliver it.
Well, I think that was a good choice, because the last thing you want to do, of course, I'm going to be 70 this year. Last thing you want to do is actually hurt yourself, because oftentimes those injuries take, well, if they can be fixed, it takes forever for them to fix.
Yeah, that's true. I want to stay out of the hospital. That's for darn sure.
Well, I learned that again when I got in that car accident, whatever it is, 16, 18 months ago. You don't realize how long it takes to heal, things as you get older. Not that I like, I don't know if they went any quicker when I was younger, but breaking 6 ribs and a vertebrae and bruising a shoulder. In fact, my shoulder still hurts a little bit, and it's a year. It was a year this past November, so December, January, February. It's a year and 4 months, and it still hurts sometimes.
Wow, you broke
6 ribs. Did you get hit in the driver's door?
No, he slammed into me, on my left side, and I went over the hood and slammed into his windshield with my head and my shoulder and my side, which that's why I broke the 6 ribs and my scapula.
Wow. Holy mackerel. I think you're lucky to be done as well as you are.
Well, then he didn't have that. So what happened was not only that, but I probably would have been dead if I wasn't wearing a helmet, because I even had a stroke, or they call it a brain bleed. It caused me to lose the use of my right leg until I went through 3 weeks of rehab.
Oh, okay. So you were on a bike. You were on a bike.
Yes, a regular bicycle. Yeah.
Oh boy, bike and car. That's not a good deal.
No, I got the worst of that one.
Well, I'm glad you're back to your old self there.
Yeah, pretty much. Aside from that slight discomfort in my shoulder now and again, it's which is probably due to other age issues as well, like arthritis, which I have. But no, I'm thankful that I survived it, because lots of people get hit by cars when their head hits the windshield. It's all over for them. I was knocked out for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, and it was really funny how you get these perceptions. I never had that one before, but I woke up and I'm laying staring up at the sky, and I looked around and I see these firemen walking around, and I realized, oh, that's right, that's what happened. And I thought to myself, well, if they just get out of my way, I'll just get up and go home. Well, that would have been the last thing I would have been able to do, because I couldn't use my right leg.
Yeah, well, I remember being on a hiking trail in, where was it, Percy Warner Park on the Mossy Ridge Trail, and I tripped over a rock that was sticking up out of the ground and just hit my head right on the ground, and for about 30 seconds I didn't know where it was.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's blows to the head aren't cool. All right, well, very good. That was Jimmy, Kilo November 4 Lima X-Ray Hotel. He's up north of the high school here in Mount Juliet near Lebanon Road. Good to hear from you, Jimmy. Looking forward to more good reports on that tower. He's getting into the concrete pouring phase first of the week here. All right, anybody else? Late check-ins, lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, scanner listeners. Who else was out there? Let's see. Oh, yeah, forgot about the SDR donglers, preppers, and the end-time survivalists. I heard there must have been a double in there. One more time on one station. All right, and I heard nothing. Somebody go ahead.
W9BOQ, I'm late again.
Oh, that's all right. Late's better than never. How you doing, Dennis? You on the road or you home?
I'm home. We took the whole family from Wisconsin out to eat at Modell's tonight. I just got home and I was trying to get all my chickens in the coop that I moved, and they don't seem to know where it is.
Hey, you still got problems with that microphone. It's giving me the clicks a lot sound.
Well, anyway, I wanted to check in. I'm going to move into my shack and maybe talk to you after the net a little bit. WNBOQ, checking in and clear.
Yeah, very good. That's Dennis, Whiskey 9 Bravo Oscar Quebec, and he's in Castalian Springs with a really, really rickety microphone. Who else? Anybody else? Late chickens or lollygagger lurkers or sandbaggers? Please come on.
Kilo Delta 4 Zulu OFO.
Hold on, Donnie. We had 2 in there. I had Ed in near Shelbyville at Shake Rag, Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. How you doing there, Ed?
Well, good evening, Paul. Good evening, everyone that can hear me. This is Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee down here in Shake Rag, Tennessee. Had a good day. Man, a beautiful day. Got outside and been working and building stuff. And, man, I feel like a kid in a toy factory with Lego blocks.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're S8 to me tonight. Your signal's nice and clear, too, and good signal.
Well, I appreciate yours. Same here. I've got about 7 bars, 8 bars on here. I don't know what that means on this little small mobile radio I'm running off of. But good sound, good clear sound as well there. But we've been out building a tailgate for a gooseneck trailer today. And enjoying just being out. That's more fun just being out. One other thing I'd like to share with you, I started in the shop this evening, and there was a baby squirrel right in the middle of the floor and fell out of the loft of it. I took him in and gave him something to drink and a little milk, and by the time I seen it was done, he was my friend and ready to go back to mama.
Oh, is that right? Did he make his way back up there?
No, I got him. I'm gonna keep him one more night over. I'm like it's a hospital, a animal hospital. I'm gonna hold him over a night, give him a good dose of milk in the morning, and maybe we can get him back to his mama.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, a friend of mine did that, and he kept it as a pet because he didn't know where it came from, you know, and he just nursed it back to health.
Well, this here, I was really shocked how quick he took to me. You know, I was laying on the ground doing some measurement. Here he come running up on my leg, started crawling all on me there. Made me feel real special there. Anyway, Paul, I'll let you go. I know that doesn't probably mean nothing to your listeners, but this is Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Have a good night.
Yeah, very good, Ed. That's Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. He's in Shake Rag near Shelbyville. He was just telling about, if you couldn't hear him, he was talking about he's got a laying on the ground and a baby squirrel that fell out of the nest and ran up and just made friends with him immediately. And he's feeding him and getting him milk and water and getting him back in shape to go back in the mother's nest. All right, Donnie, I got you in there. How you doing, Donnie?
I'm doing good. I just turned this little radio on. I'm on a handy talkie 4 watt. I could hear Jimmy. He's the only one I could hear, but I just sitting here, and all of a sudden I just have to think it's net night, so I thought I'd check in for real quick, give another the number.
Yeah, well, you're doing just between S4 and S5 to me with that handheld.
All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, Jimmy's the only one I could hear. He broke up a little bit, but I could understand everything he was saying, so that's good. Well, I hope you had a good nap tonight.
Oh, yeah, you were number 27. That's really big news on it. That's a little more than average, but you're doing great.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that. I'll let you get back and finish it up. I know it's getting late. You've been there an hour now.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's all right. I've only done 440 of these, so kind of used to it. Good to have you in there, Donnie. That was Donnie. He is about 6 miles south of me, east of Mount Juliet Road. Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Excuse me. I even wrote it down wrong. Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Who else? Anybody else? Late check-ins, lollygagger, lurker, sandbagger, or whatever.
K4 QPR. Oh, there's a lady out there. She tried to check in 3 times.
All right, QPR, stand by. What was that other state, please?
KK4 JEG.
Ah, very good. How are you doing, Lori?
Very good, Paul. Very good.
Are you on the shack at home?
Yes, and I'm aggravating West to no end.
Well, if you haven't figured it out, that's your job.
I agree.
Yeah. It's funny because when I first got on the air, I put on this wool cap that my mother knitted for me this past winter. She says, "What are you doing with that on?" I said, "I want to see how it looked on the air." She goes, "Don't you dare wear that on the air. You look horrible." And so she was aggravating me as well.
All righty. Well, you have a good night, Paul. KK4 JEG.
Yeah, very good. That was Lori down there in Watertown or near Watertown. Kilo Juliet 4 Juliet Echo Golf. I did get that correct, didn't I?
You did.
Ah, very good. Appreciate it, Laura. You were number 29 tonight. And we also had Kilo for Quebec Papa Romeo. Go ahead.
Well, good evening. Now I just draw a blank on your name. Paul? Anyway, and then that had to sneak in there and check in. I got a new radio, but can't connect it to the antenna.
Oh, is that right? You're on the HT, are you, Russ?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing fine to me. I didn't look at the what you're doing there, but on the thing. One more time, and just give me your call or something.
Okay, for QPR.
Yeah, you're like looks like about 30 over S9, so your signal's big on that HT.
I got a 50-watt Kenwood, so I get to turn it on.
Uh-huh. And you don't have your antenna yet, or you do?
I have a mobile antenna, but the cable won't let me connect to it. I got to get that female to female.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you should be able to find one somewhere. Maybe somebody else on Laverne might have one of those for you. Well, very good, Russell. And you're on your HT with a great signal from Laverne. That's Kilo 4 Quebec Papa Romeo. glad you could make it in tonight, even if it was a little late, but that doesn't matter.
It's not late until the net closes, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's really not late. Yeah, very good, Russ. Good to have you in there. Did we have another station in there? Please come out. I heard something break the squelch. Is that a station? Do we have another station? Try again. Anybody got a relay for me? I don't. If there's somebody there, I might copy them.
Come on, we can get the 30. WNIBOQ.
Oh, is that you?
No, it wasn't.
All right. Hold on while I finish up here. Any other stations, late or otherwise, please come in. Well, very good. We had a banner night tonight with 29 check-ins. I'm shocked, as always, at how many people are interested in Simplex, and I know how much I enjoy it. And it's nice to see new people on the air like Rick out there in Ashland City, and Richard, who upgraded to general and got his new antenna up, and he had some surprises tonight. And I don't know if anybody else had any surprises, but it's been a good night. I don't think there is any other big news from the group, but appreciate everybody who checked in and was letting Richard know how he was heard, or he only reported the ones that couldn't hear him. So he's obviously getting out, but not receiving as well as he should. That might be a radio issue or a local sound issue. Well, very good. Again, 29 people on the net tonight, which is way above average. And appreciate you all being there. This is K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net, closing the net, K4PEW 73.
Oh, I can get number 30 in here real quick if you want me to.
Well, don't wake her up.
No, that wouldn't be a good career move.
Nah, it wouldn't be a very good survival move either.
Not really. Hang on. I could hear 14 folks, and they were east and north of me.
Ah, very good. Well, that's only about 4 times as many or 5 times as many as you used to hear.
Absolutely. I'm pretty pleased with it, actually. And that terrain map you sent me, pretty scary, actually. And I'm still looking at this hill